Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Tuesday, January 13th. And so we have Satoshi Shawn joining me for another Truth Tuesday. It looks like the US Mint has suspended numismatic, I'm saying that word, coins production. So we'll look into that and what else is going on. Of course, silver is the big buzz everywhere. But there's other things going on. So we'll have a little discussion around some of that and see what else is going on for a Truth or Tuesday. Be right back with Satoshi Shawn right after this. Jump in the live chat and like and share both of these videos. Hey, Shawn. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Are you doing the fake no talking, or do you know that you're muted?
No, I said good to see you too. Good to see everyone in the chat.
Okay. I can't tell if you're faking me out with that or...
It didn't mute me automatically when you put me backstage, so I muted myself, but then I guess I had to unmute myself.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're always changing things here at StreamYard. Welcome. So did you see there was just a quick announcement that the Mint, so it's my understanding Bix was always telling us that the Mint, US Mint is supposed to print, or mint eagles, not print, mint eagles as market demands. And so I had heard that they had stopped, that they said that there were no more eagles. They're telling people if you go online to the US Mint, they're none available, and they're telling you like you can purchase them, but they're you have to wait till March to receive them or something. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal, not to their constitutional or their contract with Congress or whatever, whoever supposed to keep them in line with their printing. But then this announcement just came out right before we went live that this letter came out saying that they had to maintain transparency and positive customer experience. They are reaching out to share an important update due to metals cost pricing adjustments being evaluated across all numismatic, I can't ever say that right, products. In addition to rapidly rising silver prices, they may result in numismatic products being temporarily removed from sale while pricing is updated. They're working to expeditiously update pricing in order to maintain product availability. However, we wanted to communicate in advance in case you notice changes on the Mint's website. So they are basically pulled all the numismatic from the website. They stopped selling it. This is a little misleading. They didn't necessarily stop selling silver, but it's the numismatics are halted at this time. So
Didn't China stop selling silver too, or
they stopped not selling it, or not to my knowledge. They stopped allowing silver out of their country unless you have a contract with them. And so that has like stopped the door on that. Basically, it's been quite interesting to watch. The paper market has been just separated from the physical market tremendously. Also, there was another big they changed the way that they count the where is it? There's a quick article. It's a big difference. They used to count it in dollars the way that they had to.
Now they count it in Bitcoin.
No, it's percentage. Hold on. I'm sorry. This was interesting. Judy's talking about the rumors are back out about gold being revalued for the 250th birthday. Where is the thing that I just saw this morning? Here it is. Raised margins. CME raised margins again, but they did it in a different way. So they switched it where usually it's raised from fixed dollars. They changed it to a percentage of a notional value. And so gold is now up 5%, silver 9%. So he said, this guy breaks it down to the translation here is the higher gold and silver go, the more collateral shorts must post. That means shorting metals just got way more expensive. Over leveraging, paper traders get squeezed faster. Forced covering equals higher volatility. So the CME raises margins when the market is under stress, not when it's calm. So paper shorts feel the pain, physical holders get confirmation. And this is the little letter that came out. So that's good news for all of the silver holders. Still, that was really interesting that it was that big of a change. That it wasn't in dollars, but percentages that change was.
And it's kind of what the Mint was talking about too, is that they have to change the way
the way they're pricing it.
They price it and value. Yeah. Hey, Comstock's good to see you here. Yeah, I used to love going to the Mint when I was a kid. That was like,
oh, have you been?
It's my favorite field trips. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Used to just go into Philadelphia because it was like there's so much stuff there. But yeah, I love going to the Mint. Just the giant bins full of money was just insane when I was a kid. It was, like giant, like big laundry basket, but they're bigger, like in a mine. Those big carts, or it's just full of like pennies and quarters and nickels and stuff.
It's really interesting.
It was just so weird. They're all, brand new, shiny. It was cool.
Well, it's really interesting. We've been playing around, looking on different websites, and some people are saying, you can buy, I think there was one website, either Jam, Bullion or SD, I can't remember, and they had like 1,800 Eagles available, or they say they're available, but you can put them in your cart. This was like a night or two ago, but you could pay for them, but you had to wait till March to get them. And like no other websites had any silver Eagle. and you had to pay, of course, spot plus premium. And then pretty much nobody else had any that we could find really. And then as far as like selling your stuff, people were paying either spot or a little bit less than spot. We went to a pawn shop today just to kind of check it out.
Mm-hmm.
We had seen this really fun video on Facebook at a pawn shop here locally, and this guy bought like $500,000 of random silver, approximately, if you counted it at spot. So, and he was showing, he had this big buy, and he's like, I don't usually show this side of it, but I thought I'd, show you what's kind of happening on this side. And so we went in the store and we're kind of just kicking around and asking what they were paying. And he's like, well, I'm 10% back because of the price volatility. And we were like, price volatility? And he's like, well, it is having some 10% swing, it'll go up 80 and then it'll pull back to 70.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday it started at $80 and went up to almost 90 in the same day. And we're like, yeah, but it's pretty much just in the two-step. You're still going forward, buddy. But it's interesting to kind of watch the markets and watch people going. And that's where this isn't like crypto where people are waiting for a big correction, or stock, like in stocks and bonds where people are like, oh, there's going to be a big crash, because this is the paper being corrected. They're getting rid of the shorts. These paper shorts are being, taken out of the market basically.
I think it's going to affect the price. So I think there will be a correction when it comes to silver. I think like I know you think 200, 300. I'm thinking.
Oh, I think 600.
I'm thinking 130, 150. And then we'll have the big correction back. but yeah, see, there's a lot of weird things going on with silver. Like you can go to Money Metals Exchange, and
Hmm.
there's silver. You can buy it. It ships out, in the next day or two, and you get silver.
No, you
Maybe
said they have some available. Money
silver.
Metal
Yeah,
Exchange.
most all exchanges you can buy silver, but
Mm,
you may not be able to buy exactly the coin if you want a specific round or eagle or something. But just to buy silver, ounces of silver, they have stock. So it's not like you can't buy it.
I haven't been able to find very many that have much.
But as far as the buyback, I'm that guy. If he's paying 10% under spot, he's paying more than I've been able to find.
Oh, really?
Everywhere I've been seeing, it's like 20, 25% less. It's huge. Like it's when silver was like 75, they were paying like 60. So it was like $15 difference. Gold, a little bit better on the buyback, but silver, maybe it's because of the volatility. I don't know, but it's maybe it's because it's inflated. I don't know, but they're paying a lot less on the buyback than because it used to be just a little bit under spot, and now there's a pretty good sized chasm. We can check. Let me go to.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked the buybacks online. We just swung in there because it was like a friend of a friend's place. And she had said that he had bought some from her at spot, but I guess that was a couple of years ago, and
Mhm.
they're friends. And so then he's like, oh no, 10% back. And mom's like, oh, well, no, never mind. Because we have friends looking for some right now. And so if you go peer to peer and give your
Yeah.
friend a deal at spot, where then your friend would have to, if your friend had to buy it, they'd have to buy over, so that's where peer to peer is always kind of the best deal, because then you can help each other out.
Geez, it's selling. It's went up a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
It's selling for 95 an ounce.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, it was 90 last night.
95 an ounce.
Which, Cliff had said we'd have like $1 days, and then we get into $2 days, $5 days, $10 days. So I guess we're kind of, yesterday was a $10 day. It went from 80 to almost 90 in the day. We may have another $10 day today.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, but it's in stock.
Are you on Money Metals or
Money
on?
Metals, yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to see what the big ones. 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce. I'm looking for. I want to see some bigger ones.
If you put it in your cart and go to checkout, is it there?
Yeah, it's in stock. Or else
It'll say, like, there were some of those websites, if you go and look, I think it was Atmex or one of those, you put it in your cart and then you go to checkout. Maybe you were showing me that, and then it's not there.
Here we go. No, it's either in stock or it says out of stock. But it's trying to get it. I wanted to look at lowest price to highest, but
Oh, okay.
I hit the wrong one, so now it's at highest to lowest. Okay. You can get one of the cheapest things you can get is a Ninja throwing star made of silver. It's $92. But yeah, everything else is like $94, $95. You can get paper silver for 90. Well, vault secured silver, they store it there at the exchange. That's $5 less an ounce. That's think about that. That's 5% plus no ship. Well, it's free shipping to you, but if you send it back, I'll tell you it's expensive. Yeah, there's not a huge swing. Usually there's like a big difference between like fun, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, painted ones and like Donald Trump signature ones.
Well, that's where I wonder. Since the mint
Yeah.
is now shutting down the numismatics. Are those going to go up in value if they stop producing all those? Will some of those start having some more in the collectible world? If
Well,
those
not for like, you or me or regular people,
not for use of money people,
but
yeah.
because I put it to the highest to lowest.
Okay.
I guess it's per ounce. Okay. I want to see if they have big bars that they're still selling, and there's no big bars, but that's what should I look for? Junk. No, it's just silver bars. There we go. 10-ounce bars, kilo bars. Let me see. So 10 ounces.
Oh.
Yeah,
Hi GM, hi Moto, hi Marky.
there's a lot. They have a lot in stock, and they have new ones.
Of course.
They have old ones they're starting to sell. They have a Star Wars 10-ounce bar. That's dope.
Oh, there you go.
That is dope. Yeah, they got plenty of 10-ounce bars. See, that's what I was expecting to see. Maybe they don't have the 10-ounce bars or kilos, but like for look at the 100-ounce bars. They got plenty of 100-ounce bars. Now they have this bar. Let me see if they.
I think the larger bars would be like less desirable because they're going to be especially as the price goes up, it's going to be harder to get rid of.
That's what I'm saying. Those are if those are out of stock, that to me is a big sign because that's the real silver traders, the millionaires and billionaires. Those are the ones buying it up. But I wanted to see if they have those bars. There's specific. There's other sizes. Yeah, let's look at. So they have these 1,000-ounce bars, which I want to see if no, I don't see it here. Let me look at all silver, and then highest. Kilos. They have a lot of kilos. So that's like the big bar for, I think, regular. Not resident. Is it resident? No, it's not residential, but it is something like that.
Yes, Moto said.
Investing. Yeah, I'm not seeing the 1,000-ounce bars, which is that to me is something. That to me is something to. Here, no, they got them. They have call to order 1,000-ounce. Comex approved. Okay. So they still have them, but you got to jump through hoops to get them. And they're 91.64. If you're buying 1,000-ounce bar, you're still paying 91.64. And you can buy up to over 5,000 bars, but you have to call to get a price. But if you buy 2,000 to 5,000 1,000-ounce bars, which these are what, $90,000? Yeah, $91,000 a bar. But they have them in stock.
Interesting. Yeah, because we were playing around on different apps, and they were like, you'd fill the cart and then go to checkout, and it'd say not available.
Yeah, I'll show you.
So that it was.
I should have been sharing my screen. I am so sorry. So sorry. Oops. I think this is the right one. There we go. Okay. So we have inventory on the shelf. However, high order will cost a 3-day ship out delay if you have a high order. It's still, I always wanted to get some of these. That would have been cool. Back when they were like $60.
Oh.
Or $60,000. That would have been cool. But yeah, 1,000-ounce bars, that has to be massive. But they got the Yeah.
Oh, and Costco quit selling. They sold out.
Did they?
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is that.
Yeah. So exciting stuff. Good times. Good times.
Speaking of exciting stuff, but not good times. You see that article tweet I sent you?
No. We had a busy day today. Where did you send it to me?
Twitter. You can bring it up and show it. It's
No, I can't unless, hold on. No, I can't because remember, I can't on my phone. I cannot send anything from my computer to my computer.
well, I said it on Twitter, so you should bring your Twitter up.
What have to share it on? Hold on. It's like a whole.
But have you heard about the sound weapon they said was used in Venezuela?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, like, we knew, and everyone in the chat knew, that money metals, they're huge. They're Great Kazoo. They're one of the top ones. But anyway, hey, Jim. This, I mean, I don't, if you read this, to me, sounds like a
HAARP.
propaganda-ish, the way it's written. Supposedly, it's an interview with a security guard of Maduro, talking about when the U.S. forces came in. It looks very scripted, but I don't think it's like a lie. I think it's just putting out there what we did. And the change in Latin America, just there's a huge change. It's like, I don't want to say fear, but I'll say fear. But no one wants to mess with us anymore. There's no room to play around. Same with China and Russia. I think a line's been crossed. Now I think Russia used this stuff first. Like we have a lot of, like you said, HAARP. You brought up HAARP. We have tons of weapons that we just haven't shown. That we just don't say, hey, we have this new thing we invented. We put little tidbits out there, little breadcrumbs, like about the lasers and things like. We have it. It's not fake. And when people start talking about it too much, we're like, oh, you're crazy, talking your science fiction nuts. But I mean, we've been working on it for a long time. Definitely can shoot drones out of the air, if not planes and other things with lasers. Like 10, 15 years ago, we could sink a boat with a laser that we had on a Navy ship. It's just a heat beam that would put holes in the ship, or if it was wood, it would catch on fire. And that was back then, so I'm sure now it's leaps and bounds further. But I think we did use the sonic weapon. But I think Russia did against protesters like a couple of years ago. So I think they did kind of start it, I guess. And then that's one of the reasons.
Well, remember when there were the TBIs? Was it in Nashville? And then also there were some military people that reported that had all the traumatic brain injuries from the weapons.
Also it was called Havana syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, there.
So that is a legitimate thing.
Well, it was, but it was like, we don't know what happened. We'll call it Havana syndrome or something weird. I'm sure it was. I don't know whether it was Russia using it or whether it was us testing it there. But it's a real thing. So I think the fact that these are, but I think my main thing I want to say is that the fact that we're bringing this to bear and showing that means these things are going to go into the regular, arsenal that we're using on a regular basis. They're not going to be weird or hush hush. I think we're moving into a new era of warfare, but against everybody. I think against protesters. I think against regular folks. And I was thinking about it. If you think about like war crimes and what's should be illegal or what's a war crime, when those laws were made, a lot of the stuff that we have and use were science fiction. A cell phone was science fiction, but it was so long ago, Lisa, that science fiction was science fiction. There wasn't like TV or anything. There was no there wasn't no
Right.
nothing from the 50s hadn't happened yet, you know? So
Right.
we're so far beyond what those laws are that they're going to be, hey, none of this stuff, really should matter. We have to redo it. Maybe that's one of the reasons we pulled out of so many of the, agreements and so on. But
Remember when they were finding out that just using like what now is on everybody's laptop for Photoshop now is like what they use to fake Obama's
yeah, and that's why you can,
birth certificate.
yeah, that's why you can
Or
pick it apart now.
yeah, what they used to, back in the day, redact, CIA or FBI documents. Well, now you can just right click and, you can see what's under there. Like it's not difficult now because computers have advanced so much. And so what used to be military, grade secret computer, whatever, now we've caught up to it.
And there used to be a you say grade that used to be it's a thing. There's consumer grade, then there's business grade, and then there's military grade. They're for security, for everything. So it has changed. We do have access to stuff that was military grade, years ago. And I forgot where I was going with it, but it's I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think we're moving to that. What?
The weapons.
Yeah, I think that that they're going to be used. The time, how there wasn't. Like I've said to you before, that every cop in the world, but most actually a lot of countries don't do it, but in the United States we do it like crazy. Any cop that's ever used a taser is guilty of a war crime.
That's true.
I told you that years ago that specifically says in the international law to use electricity to coerce, to harm, or to control a person is a war crime, and that's what a taser does.
Mm-hmm.
But that law was made, like I said, before tasers were invented, where literally electricity was just like something you plug into the wall and you touch it to a metal or to the person. But it's ignored. Like it doesn't matter. You're not going to go arrest every cop that ever used a taser. It's not going to happen. Look at Obama's been proved that was his birth certificate. Doesn't matter. Everything still stays the same. Everything technically should be illegal that he had done in his administration. Whether you like the guy or not, that's just what the law should be. He should not have been allowed to run.
Mm-hmm.
Biden, all the auto pen stuff, the fact that he wasn't competent, doesn't matter. It's like, oh, that's too big to fail. That's literally what had happened.
Well, some of that's going to change. I think like they are subpoenaed the Fed, Powell, and now they're putting together that the Biden pen was who just signed Powell back in, and so technically he shouldn't have even been in office during that time. So I don't know if that's going to play into that, how that's going to play into that, but that's part of those decisions that are going to come up and then he lied to Congress, of course. So all of that's kind of coming to a head.
Yeah. But what's going to happen because of it? It's just, it'll be exposed more. But then, and you can't pick and choose. You can't say, well, we'll get rid of this and this doesn't count and that doesn't count, but we'll keep these. It either needs to be everything's gone or everything's not. And they're just going to go with everything's not, I'm sure. But I think it's a big deal that we're starting to pull the veil back and admit Area 51 exists. Basically, we're at like the next stage of that. We're like, oh yeah, we can. There's also we have these Jewish space lasers or whatever it is next. But stuff's gonna be coming out because they're gonna start using it.
There's a lot coming out. Did you see? Which I'm trying to find two videos. There was one with the kid Shirley in Ukraine, showing that there's no war over there, that everybody's just living their best life and driving their Teslas and whatever, and everything's fine over there.
Where?
In Ukraine.
Yeah, that's a country. Where? It's like in this Kyiv? Yeah, I'm sure, but like in the Donetsk region, probably not.
Okay, well, whatever. We'll see. Then there is the announcement. I think it was a DOD announcement, and they literally say we have technology to change time and to make it happen as many times as we need to until we get the outcome that we desire. And that's what we did with Venezuela. And that's how it happened the way that.
That's nuts.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it.
Did you get that tweet I sent you up? Because I wanted to read what the interview was.
Hold on.
Because the guy went into serious detail. And this is supposed to be like one of theirs, giving information to the rest of, to the other side of.
Okay.
So I think it's supposed to be. I think it's sending a clear warning. But I think you can, when we read it, you can see it sounds like it was written for him. But I do think it happened, or something close to it. Do you want me to send it somewhere else?
No, hold on. I can do it again. This was from several days ago.
And also the tweet. I didn't send you the tweet. I sent you a retweet of the tweet.
Yeah.
The person that retweeted it, to me, is a big deal.
Yeah, this is kind of old news. We've all seen this. I've seen this. You've seen this.
Is it Carolyn Levitt?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's the press secretary, but she's an advisor to the president. And she literally wrote, "Stop what you're doing and read this."
Mm-hmm.
That's from her. That means, to me, it lends a lot of credibility that the press secretary is saying that. And then you have it pulled up yet?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So you can read this. It says, this comes from Venezuelan security guard loyal to Nicolas Maduro. It's absolutely chilling. Explains a lot about why the tone across Latin America has changed. So security guard, on the day of operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly our radar systems shut down without any explanation. The next things we saw were drones, a lot of drones, flying over our positions. We didn't know how to react. Interviewers, what happened next? How was the main attack? First off, the radar systems they bought from China, supposed to be the top of the line for China, Russia, for them. Nothing can get through that. And literally we just shut it down and walked in. We walked in their country and walked out, and they didn't know how many people were there. That's a huge thing. Big black eye for China, but because it's not Venezuela, that is top of the line Chinese technology. So after the drones appeared, some helicopters arrived, but they were very few. I think barely 8 helicopters. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, but a very small number, maybe 20 men. But those men were technologically very advanced. They didn't look anything like what we fought before. And then the battle began. Security guard, yes. It was a massacre. We were hundreds, but we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed, it seemed like each soldier was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. And your own weapons, didn't they help? No. No help at all. Because it wasn't just the weapons. At one point, they launched something, I don't know how to describe it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Suddenly, I felt like my head was exploding from inside. We all started bleeding from the nose. Some were vomiting blood. We fell to the ground, unable to move. And your comrades, didn't they manage to resist? No, not at all. Those 20 men, without a single casualty, killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology. With their weapons, I swear, I've never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up after that sonic weapon or whatever it was. And then it says specifically, do you think the rest of the region should think twice before confronting America? Without a doubt. I'm sending a warning to anyone who thinks they can fight with the United States. So it looks it's very scripted.
Yeah, it does seem like a little fake news.
But I do think
Genghis Khan kind of message.
Yeah, but I do think that it's how we put it out there, what we have and what we can do. Yeah.
From U.S. Homeland Security is where this one was sent. And it says how am I going to share this? Because it's so annoying. I can send it to you. But then I can't see it here. And I can't mess it there. Maybe I can retweet it. They admit that they have time travel, the alien tech time travel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just retweet it again and then should be able to pull it up on the top. So this is how they explain that they were able to pick him up like that. Oh, wait. It says, U.S. Home Security News. The United States uses several alien tech advanced level weapons technology to defeat all enemies. No other nation on earth has what we have. Time dilation machine that allows the U.S. government to see what will happen in future events. And if necessary, change the event or reset time and start the event over until we get results we want. Like, this has to be some BS.
Yes, it's BS.
Complete BS.
Because it's a fake account, most likely. I mean, they have time tunnel from the 50s as a picture, but it might be BS. But it's a BS account.
Okay.
You see, it says commentary account.
Oh no.
The little theater.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. But there was the video of Pete Ducey showing himself getting zapped or whatever, and then there were also military people showing like the HARP stuff where they were saying this is the kind of
that goes to what I said. They're going to move that into everyday use. Cops might have a little sonic booster gun now, along with a taser. They're literally showing you, hey, look, it's not that big of a deal. It's humane. It's better than getting shot. Less than lethal, that kind of thing. And less than lethal, that's a very interesting topic to go on. There's a gun, you can look it up. It's called the bee stinger or the swarm of bees. I think it's called swarm of bees. And it was a riot control gun, like back in the 20s maybe. But it was a 22 with a 1,000 round drum, and it shot 1,000 shots of 22 bullets, 22 long rifle bullets, and it was supposed to be less than lethal, and it was used for crowd control in the United States. So less than lethal it doesn't mean non-lethal. That description has changed a lot over the years. Rubber bullets, less than lethal, but they can kill you. And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the new John Wick movie, Ballerina, they use rubber bullet, like they shooting a dude in the face like a foot away. He would kill him. You know, rubber bullets are definitely deadly. They're just not as deadly as the same caliber from further away, but they're deadly.
That's interesting. I had heard people were looking at airsoft gun equipment, like you can buy airsoft that's actually the same stuff that would work for regular.
Oh yeah. That's one way, like especially felons can get around not being able to protect themselves if you can't own a gun. There's a lot of air guns that are like more power than a 9mm. I mean, they're super powerful, and can shoot like a slug, and are super deadly, super deadly.
I don't know why I'm not finding it now. Anyway, so frustrating. I cannot use my same account. Both things. Sorry, guys. Yeah, really frustrating because I could see it on my phone, but I can't see it on my computer. But the Pete Ducey thing.
You can go on eBay there, Dana. Get yourself a good Nunkata.
All things.
Nunchucks.
There was also, did you see Ann Vandersteel posting about the shorts with the SEC, how they had held out this one filing for, I think it was like MTT something, to make sure that this one company wouldn't get caught. Basically, like,
no, I've been unplugging actually a lot from what's going on because it's just so.
She basically found that, you know, that the SEC was in bed with this company, helping them screw people over, and they were complicit in it. And she outed them, which was really cool. Also, Bill Clinton did not show up today.
That's interesting. Not only that, they're being super defiant in the news.
Yeah, they're showing a picture of him in the Lewinsky dress. You know, the piece of artwork that was in Epstein's mansion that Podesta created, with him in Lewinsky's dress. Notice the red shoes. Like,
yeah, they're
in the time of,
they're not apologizing. They're saying we're not going to engage. We're not doing it. It's all fake news. But it's causing it's causing the legality of what they're saying to be looked at. So it's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna take a little time. I don't know if he kicks the bucket in that time and then it kind of goes away, or if they still keep pushing exposing it to make it bigger and bigger. Because they're like they're the heads. They're like some of the top personalities when it comes to that stuff. So for them to have to go away, that's a big thing. But if it would save, the other people at the top, I think it would happen.
Well, also the red shoes are, connected with all the child trafficking stuff.
All right. Well, I think everyone knows by now Bill Clinton did not show up. And I think it's important to note that this subpoena was voted on in a bipartisan manner by this committee. This wasn't something that I just issued as chairman of the committee. This was voted on by the entire committee in a unanimous vote of the House Oversight Committee to subpoena former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Now, Hillary Clinton's supposed to show up tomorrow. We'll see what happens there. But with respect to the former president, he did not show up today. One reason I think most Americans want President Clinton to answer some questions is because he visited the White House Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times while Bill Clinton was president. I've been in Congress 9 years. I think I've been to the White House 9 times in 9 years. Epstein was in the White House double the amount of time that I was under one president. And then we know that Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's plane somewhere around 27 times after the presidency. So no one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions. And that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton. Not a single Democrat showed up today. Not a single Democrat. The ones that have press conferences on the Capitol steps, talk about how they're trying to get justice for the victims and all that. It just seems like they only care about questioning Republicans. And we've had a former Trump cabinet secretary, Acosta, in for a grilling. We had Bill Barr, former attorney general, in for a grilling. But for whatever reason, President Clinton didn't show up, and the Democrats on the committee don't seem to have a problem. This is the amount of preparation that went into this deposition today. These were the questions that we were prepared to ask. We've communicated with President Clinton's legal team for months now, giving them opportunity after opportunity to come in, to give us a...
So I don't know that we'll see Hillary tomorrow.
I don't think so. Although, you never know. It depends on the media. It depends on what, like I said, I think we're at a point where the noose is closing. But whether or not we see her, we'll see.
We shall see. We could end on a positive note. Well, I don't know. It's kind of sad note, but it was kind. Sweet Scott Adams passed away and wrote the sweetest letter in his passing, just kind of pointing people to faith and truth and kindness and community. Did you read that? Did you read his goodbye letter? It was very sweet. He's the artist from Dilbert, but he's also like a New York Times bestseller. But a final message from Scott Adams. He says, if you're reading this, things did not go well for me. I have a few things to say before I go. My body failed before my brain. I'm of sound mind as I write this, January 1st, 26. If you wonder about any of my choices for my estate or anything else, please know I'm free of any coercion or inappropriate influence of any sort, I promise. Next, many of my Christian friends have asked me to find Jesus before I go. I'm not a believer, but I have to admit the risk-reward calculation for doing so looks attractive. So here I go. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I look forward to spending an eternity with him. The part about me not a believer should be quickly resolved if I wake up in heaven. I won't need any more convincing than that, and I hope I am still qualified for entry. With your permission, I'd like to explain something about my life. For the first part of my life, I was focused on making myself a worthy husband and parent as a way of finding meaning that worked. But marriages don't always last forever, and mine eventually ended in a highly amicable way. I'm grateful for those years and for the people I came to call my family. Once the marriage unwound, I needed a new focus, a new meaning, and so I donated myself to the world, literally speaking the words out loud in my otherwise silent home. From that point on, I looked for ways I could add the most to people's lives in one way or another. That marked the start of my evolution from Dilbert cartoonist to an author of what I hoped would be useful books. By then, I believed I had amassed enough life lessons that I could start passing them on. I continued making Dilbert comics, of course. As luck would have it, I'm a good writer. My first book in the useful genre was How to Fail at Most Everything and Still Win Big. That book turned out to be a huge success, and I often imitated and influencing a wide variety of people. I still hear every day about how much that book changed lives. My plan to be useful was working. I followed up with my book, Win Bigly, that trained on an army of citizens how to be more persuasive, which they correctly saw was a minor superpower. I know that book changed lives because I hear it often. You probably never know the impact that book had on the world, but I know it pleases me while giving me a sense of meaning that's impossible to describe. My next book, Loser Think, tried to teach people how to think better, especially if they were displaying their thinking on social media. That one didn't put much of a dent in the universe, but I tried. Finally, my book, Reframe Your Brain, taught readers how to program their own thoughts to make their personal professional lives better. I was surprised and delighted at how much positive impact that book is having. I also started a podcast, a live show called Coffee with Scott Adams, dedicated to helping people think about the world and their lives in a more productive way. I didn't plan it this way, but it ended up helping lots of lonely people find a community that made them feel less lonely. Again, that had great meaning for me. I had an amazing life. I gave it everything I had, and if you had any benefits from my work, I'm asking you to pay it forward as best you can. That is the legacy I want. Be useful, and please know I loved you all to the end. Scott. So I thought that was very sweet.
That is nice.
Yeah. And so
Old Dilbert.
rest in peace, Scott Adams, you sweet, sweet man.
Remember those books in junior high, Dilbert and Garfield and all those? That was like the only thing I would really read.
In high school.
High school, I don't think I read it all. In junior high.
I loved to read when I was in school, yeah. That was
Well, it was good hanging out with y'all. Remember to
yes.
hit the like button on both our channels. Jump back and forth. You guys take care. We'll see you next week. Are you gonna be on? You're gonna be on World Watch.
I will not be here for Tuesday next week, so we'll have to work something out on Wednesday maybe.
Okay.
I'll be traveling next week, but I will be here for this Wednesday because my topic got chosen. So we're doing privacy, all about privacy and pushing back.
Is Clint coming to the?
He just messaged me today. He was planning on it, and he's not going to be able to now.
Okay,
So
I thought you'd definitely be there because he was gonna be there. Okay.
I know I'm very sad that he's not going to be able to make it. I'm going to try to hit Johnny up and see if he can come. But the Thursday morning thing is hard for most people, so
Yeah. I know.
we will see what we can do.
All right. You guys take care.
Yes, have a great day, you guys. Happy Truth Tuesday.